Hello, restless souls. Welcome everyone once again to a new podcast, Human Trichotomy. This space where the mind, the body, and the spirit sit down to chat. I'm Valentina here to serve you as always, and I'm joined by the serene voice and sharp mind of my dear companion, Sebastian.
Hello, Valentina, and a huge warm greeting filled as always with good vibes to our entire community. They follow and support us every day. Today, we'll delve into a wonderful topic, one I believe I'm not mistaken about, since we're dealing with a topic that I believe touches a very sensitive nerve, that constant pressure, almost a modern obligation to be happy. What if the very search for it is what keeps us from being happy?
Exactly. It's a fascinating paradox. What if you were told right now that to reach that immense summit we call happiness, you first have to learn to walk the hills right at your feet? This is an idea that comes to us in a short video, but packed with so much context. Beautiful, a true gem, shared with us by the Spirit Menu channel.
A gift without a doubt, and one that gives us the perfect excuse to do what we love most. Unpack a seemingly simple idea, but with a depth that ranges from the most ancient philosophy to cutting-edge neuroscience. And just to share it with all of you who follow us podcast after podcast, supporting us. So get ready, because today we're going to climb.
The video for Spirit Menu presents us with a central analogy that is quite simply brilliant. In this video, happiness is compared to the Himalayas, a majestic, imposing, almost mythical goal, but so distant and so high that most of us barely see it in photos, videos, or movies. We often feel it's for a select few or for life's gurus.
And it's a perfect metaphor for the existential exhaustion many feel. Valentina, the truth is, we live bombarded with the idea that we must achieve a state of permanent ecstasy. And the video says something key. Every day we are less happy because we lose the power to align our feelings. It's not a lack of desire, it's a lack of method.
Absolutely. And the proposal they make us is a 180-degree turn. Instead of obsessing over the Himalayas portrayed as happiness, they invite us to focus on the smaller mountains, those everyday hills that have their own names: joy, enjoyment, joy, and gratitude. They also tell us that happiness is not a goal, but a consequence.
A consequence, I love that word. It takes the pressure off life itself. And this is where our journey begins. Because this idea, which seems so contemporary, resonates with truths that humanity has explored for centuries. We are not designed for permanent euphoria, but for the construction of meaning. And that, my friends, is done step by step.
And if we're talking about taking steps, Sebastian, it's impossible not to think that we can, with simple, everyday methods, pave the way for achieving anything in life. When the video says, choose one and conquer it every day, that's pure practical reasoning. Anyone would tell us to focus on what we can control. We shouldn't capitalize happiness, which is like an external and abstract concept, but rather our daily actions and perceptions as simple things. The quality of our day doesn't depend on whether we manage to climb the Himalayas, but on how we scale a small hill today.
Absolutely. It's the difference between obsessing over the destination and falling in love with the journey. I remember Seneca speaking of eudaimonia, which isn't a joyful leap, but a state of serenity that comes from living a virtuous and purposeful life. The four hills in the video, joy, enjoyment, joy, and gratitude, are in essence four practices of virtue that flourish daily. They are, in other words, the raw material of lasting well-being.
And that distinction between the distant and the near takes me directly to another plane, Sebastian. We often conceive of the divine, of transcendence, as that Himalaya, something up there, far away, separated from our mundane reality. It's like that idea of an all-powerful, transcendent God who can only be reached with superhuman effort.
Exactly. But I must point out that the video, without using a single religious word, pushes us toward immanence. It tells us that the sacred, that meaning, isn't only at the top of the world, but that we can see it in a simple way, and that it is revealed in the enjoyment of a meal, in the warmth of a conversation with anyone you want to share, in the act of helping another without expecting anything in return. And that helps us find the extraordinary in the most ordinary things we can have in life. It is the spirituality of everyday life, the basic spirituality, the one that doesn't require spending hours and hours meditating or praying.
And here comes the part that fascinates me, because modern science confirms what sages and mystics have long sensed. We can talk about biochemistry. Chasing the Himalaya of happiness is like living in anticipation of a single, massive dopamine surge. This is unsustainable, and in the long run, it generates frustration and a reward cycle that is never satisfied in our brains. So here's a gem for you to reflect on. Our brains don't work well with such long-term goals, and not so abstract ones either.
But if we ask ourselves what happens when you conquer the hills, the video hits the nail on the head. The joy of a conversation isn't just a nice phrase they slapped on to make it sound good. This joy leads to a release of oxytocin. We basically release that little molecule of attachment, the one that makes us feel connected and safe. Enjoying a meal, if you do it calmly and mindfully, will simply regulate your levels of ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and leptin, the satiety hormone, and all of this will give you a small, healthy pulse of dopamine. It's that simple. Our metabolism works when you enjoy it.
And the deep joy of helping someone, that's a balm of biochemical well-being. Because with this, we will manage to generate serotonin, the neurotransmitter of happiness, and the feeling of importance. And it also gives you more oxytocin. What more can I tell you, Sebastian? Now I move on to the fourth hill, gratitude. That for me is the most powerful tool. Practicing active gratitude, as the video suggests, has been shown to reduce levels of cortisol, the stress hormone, when produced in excess. It literally changes the physical structure of your brain, further strengthening the neural pathways in the prefrontal cortex.
It's just incredible. Daily discipline allows us to achieve this and much more. The mystic with his search for the divine in the everyday, and the neuroscientist with his map of neurotransmitters, they're all telling us the same story in different words and with different scenarios, but with a single idea. The Video for Spirit menu is a perfect bridge between these worlds, each of which, in its own time and place, left its evidence for all of us to know. And it only tells you one thing: you don't have to be a superhero to feel good. You just have to be human and do it well, one day at a time.
I see it as a liberation. It lifts a weight off our shoulders. It's not about giving up on big dreams, on each person's personal Himalayas. It's about understanding that the strength for that big climb is built in daily training, in the small summits we conquer before breakfast, at work, at dinner. That's the real preparation.
And so, the question the video leaves us with is the one we want to leave echoing in your minds today. Right now, as you listen to us, what is your hill of today? Listen carefully. What is your mountain of today? Not the one of tomorrow, not the one of the day after tomorrow, not the one in your 5-year plan. It's today, the one you program every time you open your eyes, the one you mentally prepare for every morning to have a great day. That's the hill I'm referring to, the mountain of today.
Maybe it's not a literal mountain. Perhaps your hill today is the enjoyment hill, which simply consists of preparing that drink you love but doing it slowly, smelling and feeling the cup. Or perhaps your hill to climb is the simple joy of calling that person you know will make you smile, and who will smile back. In this way, you'll be applying a basic instant rule. You give joy and you receive joy.
Each of those victories, no matter how small, is an act of power. It's simply how you strengthen your spirit, train your virtue, and rewire your brain. You're preparing yourself because, as the video says at the end, you are the next to climb the Himalayas.
We want to deeply thank the Spirit Menu channel for such an inspiring and meaningful piece, and to all of you who allow us to reach out with these messages to make even a happy day for anyone who needs it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us on this reflective journey.
Remember, happiness isn't something you find by chance. It's something you build every day with a little awareness and a lot of hope. From small peak to small peak, we'll be ready for the great summit. Don't stop looking at your Himalayas, but don't forget to enjoy the beauty of the path that lies right at your feet today.
This was Human Trichotomy. We send you a huge hug. See you next time.